This conference will now be recorded.
All right, guys. In the last session, we started working on the grid page, right? Let's get started with grid. Sorry. All right. So, guys, generally, so far we created a total of five pages. Like, a couple of them are responsive, a couple of them are canvas, and fifth one being a grid. So, grid page is majorly used to show all the details, data details. Okay. If you're dealing with operational reporting, where we are trying to show all the data in form of means like the data details. So we make use of a grid page. Okay. So here you see you got around 1100 odd records. So all the details. Okay, using the data product location, store and manager level. And using all the KPIs like gross margin, discount, sales quantity at year level. Hmm. So guys, we can also add few calculations into the grid pages, guys. So if you want to see the moving averages, moving summations, like you can add some moving calculations in the grid. Let me show you. I take 2015 of gross margin. Here you see there is an option called add client calculations. You can add a column which will, if you use the option repeating, so you see here, right? I went with 2015 and say repeating. So wherever you find it, it find 2015, it will add an extra column. It will simply add an extra column. So guys, generally these add columns are majorly seen in planning where you can add some columns and write some data point comments, write some comments onto that columns, write some data, write your own data in the column. You don't see adding the columns in analytic reporting, so I'm skipping that as of now. So maybe in the planning, I'll cover it up. Okay, so here you see an option called add client calculations, right? Where you see moving summations, moving averages, moving maximum values, minimum values, rank numbers, etc. So yeah, now I'll go to gross margin 2015, add a client calculation, that is, I'll go for a cumulative sum. You got three uh, calculations for a cumulative summation. One is a cumulative summation. One is a cumulative summation that is non-zero null or errors. It will ignore non-zeros, it will ignore nulls or errors. And a cumulative sum of rounded values. It will round and do the summation. I want a normal summation. So here you see an option called repeating or single. Repeating means wherever it finds 2015, it will add the summation. Single means only on that column it will do this. Let's say repeating. Here you see after gross margin 2015 you say summation, discount 2015 you say summation. So wherever you find 2015 it will add this. Hmm? You see the summation is 0.08 plus 0.02, 10, 10 plus 7, 17 plus 9, 26 plus 4, 30, like that. It gives you the summation. You can add these client calculations in the grid. Okay, like summation, moving averages, moving max and minimum values, like that. Okay. Then I added summation for all 2015s. I go to gross margin 2016. Let's say add another client calculation. This time I'm going for moving maximum value. Which time I'm go for single only. I take the option single, so only it will add a moving max value on this. Here, moving max value 0.07 until you get the next value, it is 0.07. Then you have 0.12. It is now the moving max value. Then you got 16. Then 16 is the max value, like that you see. What's your max value so far? moving maximum value is what we say. So this is like on requirement basis. Like if you got some extra requirements to see the moving max values, moving summations, moving averages, you can make use of a grid based calculations here. So I go to discount 2016 now. Let me add another calculation. So I already added max value. You can add minimum value also if you want. I'm not doing it. So I added summation max min. So then you got an option called count. Count means guys like 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can ignore that. It's more like an index only. So I go for moving average. So let's say moving average. I'll put moving average on discount 2016. That only single. If I go repeating, wherever you find 2016, it will add moving average. Here you see moving average. 2 plus 12, 14, 14 by 2, 7. 14 plus 3, 17 by 3, 6. 17 plus 2, 19 by 4, 5 guys. Okay, that's what you see. So number of values, overall summation of the values by number of values gives you the moving average. Okay, moving average is very important guys. It gives the user an understanding about whether your values are in an upward trend or downward trend. If moving average is increasing constantly, so that means you are in an upward trend. If your moving average is going down constantly, you are in a downward trend. Okay, so we added three: summation, moving max, and moving averages. So I go to now gross sales 2016 and add another client calculation. So added average also. Then you got something like rank numbers and Olympic rank numbers. Okay, then you can make use of rank and Olympic rank numbers. So what's the difference between rank and Olympic rank number is like, for suppose you got two values with 100, then you got two values with 98, one value with 97. So again, two more values with 96 and three with 95. Okay, so 10 values total. So if you give rank number 900, two values with 100 will be given 1. The two values with 98 will be given 2. One value with 97 will be given 3. Two values with 96 will be given 4, and three values with 95 will be given 5. So total you'll get 5 rankings. But if you give Olympic rank number, two values with 100 will be given 1. But there is no 2 because you got two ranks for 100. So two values with 98 will be given rank as 3. Then one value at 97 will be given rank as 5 because there is no 4 because you got two values here. Okay, will be given 5. And two values at 96 will be given 2, 6. And there is no 7. Remaining all three values at 95 will be given 8. If you got something else, it will be given rank 11, like that. Okay, so this is how they go. So that is the difference between rank and Olympic rank number. If I say Olympic rank number, gross sales 2016, I go for a Olympic rank number. Let's say single. This is rank number. So out of 1146, what's the rank number of this? So more the value, less will be the rank number they're using. More the value, less the rank number. Okay, guys, you can also add some kind of a data point comments. So here you go. But data point comments are majorly planning topic. See here now, if I go on anything, see add calculation, can add a comment also. As of now, it's not highlighted because on this table, I go to the designer mode of this table. Here I need to enable an option of data point comments. Oh, sorry guys, this is an analytic model. I'm sorry. So once it is a planning model, you see an option called enable data point comment. Once you enable data point comments, you can add some comments there. Okay, so data point commenting is all a planning option. So generally we do commenting only on planning. Okay, because user can maintain the value and he can maintain the comments also. Okay, planners. So I'll speak about uh, commenting during planning sessions. So I ignore that as of now. So I added some calculations here. Okay, and let's apply a threshold on your grid page. Okay, so now uh, we applied some data point. Okay, let's apply threshold. So I'm gonna apply some threshold on quantity sold. Okay, yeah, let's go apply some threshold on quantity sold. So you got tools. How do you create thresholds? Through conditional formatting, right? So you got tools. In the tools, you see an option called conditional formatting, where we can create some thresholds. I go with conditional format here. So far, I created one threshold on gross margin. I create another threshold story. I'm creating a story defined threshold. So this time on quantity sold. Okay. So I go at 4 levels. I go at 4 levels. First level I'll go. Second, third, fourth. I give 4 colors. So I say it's between 0 to 0.05 million, guys. 0.05 in the sense. 0.5 million is 5 lakhs. I go 50,000. Quantity sold is between 0 to 50,000. It's very low. 50,000 to Let me check the values. 1 lakh is low, and 1 lakh to 2 lakh is medium. Anything about 2 lakhs is high. Okay. 0 to 50k, 50k to 100k, 100k to 200k, and greater than 200k is said to be high. So I give 4 ranges. Let's say apply. And I don't want an accumulative sum on quantity sold, guys, because this will be by default greens only, all greens, right? It crossed 0.2 million here itself. Okay, so in this case, what I do, so let me remove this accumulative summation. Let's say remove the column. You don't see accumulative. So I pick only accumulative summation on gross margin. Let's add calculation. Single cross margin 2015. And for discount 2015 also I'll do the same. Tough to go for repeating, I'm running singles. Now on quantity sold, I don't have anything. So now I go to quantity sold. Let's say I click on quantity sold. Let's apply threshold. Okay. So you can create a new threshold here. If I click on new threshold, it will go to the same page. You go to the same page. So not creating any new threshold. Let's say apply. So we applied the same thresholds here, guys. In the thresholds, we applied a story defined threshold, which is created on quantity sold. They see very clearly. So blues, red or yellow, medium, red, high range. I don't say green. Yeah, here you see for the first time I say green, high value. So most of them are in medium and low ranges, right? So here in this case, what I do, I go to this table, styling. The styling here you see threshold style is symbol by default. You can change your threshold style to color values. So right now it will color the values. You can also change it to color background. So this is how it shows. It colors your background. Let's say color background non-transparent. Very thick color background without values. These are like some values you see. I go with color values. This looks much better here. Okay. So I put my threshold style as color values. Okay, clear. So let me save this story. So we created now a grid page where I show the data details and also added some client calculations and also a threshold into the grid page. Anyone? Any questions on the grid? Okay, if no questions asked, then I'll quickly jump on to the next page where I'll start with calculations, guys. So far, I didn't create any calculation in SAC. I used the existing dimensions and measures that are available in your data model. So now let's go. Let's play with calculations here. I go create a new canvas page now. I'll rename it as like something like location analysis. I'll create a new chat here. I'll start with basic calculations first and I'll cover some complex things. Okay. So I'll go create a new chat here. So I'll go with as pie chat. So here I go in the more options, I go with pie. In the measures, guys, I would like to have net sales, which is nothing but my gross sales. Okay, minus discount. So I would like to see what's my net conversion, which is nothing but discount negated from gross sales. In this case, let's go here. You see, so far I didn't create any calculation. You see here, there is an option called, let's say create a calculation. I'll go now create a calculation. In the calculation, you can create calculated measures, restricted measures, okay, aggregations, and dimension to measures. Okay, and difference from. You can convert a dimension into a measure also using this option. You can convert measure to a dimension and dimension to a measure both ways. I'll show both. So first, let's start with calculated measure. I'll create everything guys. I'll create a lot of aggregations. I'll create restricted measures, calculated measures, everything, all the calculations you see in SEC report. Okay. So in the calculated measure, I'll go with an option called like net sales. So net sales, I take it as gross sales. Here, if I type gross, you see gross sales minus discount. I write a very simple formula: gross sales minus discount. Okay. So that is my net sales. Add some dimension to my net sales based on location. I go styling, add some borders. So you see, net sales in California is 545,719,246. Maybe here in this case for net sales, I go to styling tab here. The number formatting, let's apply some scaling factor on million and show number of decimals as 2. Yeah, it is million, fine. Then I see here it is around 546 million here. Net sales is 208 million and in Nevada it's 72 million. So you see 66% of your net sales coming from California, 25% from Nevada, from Oregon, and 8% from Nevada, 8.7%. Okay, so that's how you see. There it is. Okay, so I would like to see my net sale percentage, guys. Like how much percentage of my sales, cross sales, is getting converted into net sales in different regions. So I'm just want to build some important KPIs. I create an insert a new chat here. I'll go with bar column, vertical orientation. Let me add net sale percentage as a calculation. So calculated measure only. which is nothing but, so how do you get net sales? Net sales by gross sales. And if it is in percentage terms, let's say multiplied with 100, the whole stuff multiplied with 100. You see net sales by gross sales is in parentheses. So that's your net sale percentage. Show it by location. So you see net sale percentage is quite high in California, followed by Oregon. So guys, if you have all the values in a similar range, you got all the values in a similar range and you want to clearly discriminate between them, so you can make use of, okay, a scale. Okay, here you go. But here, there is an option called edit axis. Here you see an option called edit axis. It will edit your y-axis, guys. Generally in the show or hide, I'm not seeing y-axis so far. If I go for the y-axis, you see 0, 50 and 75 like that. Okay, so I go to edit axis and say start your y-axis from 60. So what I say, start your y-axis from 60. Maximum value is automatic. Take it automatically. So here my maximum value is 75.4. So maximum value will be 75.4. So your y-axis will range from 60 to 75.4. Let's say apply. Then you see clear cut discrimination. Okay. So now your y-axis starts from 60. Sorry. So you have all values in one range and you want to clearly show the difference. So you can make use of this edit axis. This is 60, this is 60 now. This is 70, highest is 75.4. In this case, if I go edit axis and write my maximum value is 80. 60, 70, 80. Take it automatically. Don't show y-axis labels in my height. Sure, let hide it. Okay.
Satya, can we change this graph? Like, say, for example, 75.4 should be green and 62.28 will be on red. Can we do in that way?
Take your conditional formatting. Thresholds.
Yeah.
You want different colors for different values. Threshold. You want less than 60 to less than 70 to be green, red, greater than 70 to be green. So you can make use of thresholds. Okay. Guys, now let me add discount also.
Satya, sorry to interrupt you. Here, can we add percentage symbol besides the number?
Percentage symbol beside the number. This is the calculation, right? The format. See, nowhere I take it as a percentage, man. I'll show you percentage how to add it up. So in the scaling factors at the data model level only we need to do, whether it is showing in percentages, then it will show. But as of now, no, we cannot show it. In this case, I cannot do it because it's a calculated measure. Okay, it's a calculation. Maybe in the future models, I'll show you how to add percentage. Okay, I'll create some more similar measure now, guys. I would like to get off something like discount percentage. Is nothing but discount by cross sales whole stuff multiplied with 100. You see, this is your discount percentage. Same way, guys, here also can apply some edit taxes. Let's start at 20. Start your taxes at 20. So I clearly see the discount. See, we cannot say, guys, one region is not performing if sales is on lower side. Was that okay? So if there is no growth rate, or if you are going at high discounts, here you see there is heavy discounts coming in Nevada, which leading to the low margin, means low net sale margin. In this case, I would like to show it as some kind of a comment, guys, like as a positive or a negative comment. In SS, you have an option to write some positive and negative comments here. Let me do that. So here now, let's say insert text box here. I insert a text box. Just give me a moment, please. Just a moment. So here you go. Let's add all the borders. This text box. So guys, here you see text type. In the text box, you can choose your text type here. Like it can be headers. Like if you're writing a big header, you can choose this one, header. So it will be very thick, bold, header 2, header 3. If you're writing a normal thing, you can go for body or custom. If you're writing any quotes, citations, you can pick this. And here you see an option called positive and negative comment. If you're making a positive comment, I can say California as highest net sales and better conversion ratios. I don't have a scenario to write a positive comment, guys. I'm just writing it up. Compared to other regions. You can see California has highest net sales, okay, and better conversions compared to other regions. Right? It has got the highest net sales. At the same time, you see net sale percentage is also quite high. It's not about the overall number, guys. Even in percentage terms, it is quite high. Means we have the highest net sale conversation happening in California. Nevada has got weak conversion ratio, guys, like 62.8. So in this case, I write it as a negative comment. Let's say insert another text box. Let's go. Add all borders. Yeah.
This user can be modify this text.
No, user
User
cannot.
means like a business.
Cannot.
Yeah.
See, guys, generally we don't make use of positive negative comments very frequently, man. Very rarely you see these things. I need to cover these options, so I'm just covering because they are asked in interviews. That's it. What's the point of having a positive negative comment? Huh, right. So I
Mostly
got
these
as a
comments are given by the business, no, not the developer.
yes.
Then it is then user has to have the access for to change this text, etc.
No, so users will not have any access to write the comments on the edit access of this. They cannot edit the stories, man. So they can only view access. So I'll speak about the users. There are two types of users. Like one are like super users who can build their own stories where they can create everything. Another is like okay, operational user who will come check all his data, access the dashboards. That's it. Okay, if he's doing self-service reporting, then he can access all these things. But if he's not doing self-service, he cannot. I'll speak about the users, types of users. So different users access SAC. Okay, we've got three types of users. I'll speak about them. All right, like Nevada. To commit is default, right. So write some kind of a positive and negative comment. One is in green, one is in red. So you want to write, you can also make use of this positive and negative comments, guys. Okay. So I created this. right, on positive and negative. So now let's make use of a restricted measure. So let's go into the details. Let's run some restrictive measures. Let's create aggregations. Most important is aggregations. So I'll insert a new chat.
So Satya, regarding this text, actually, so this should be, I mean, whatever it is like Nevada or Oregon. This month Nevada is got the lowest, I mean, lowest net sales, right? But next month it may change. So the text should be automatic, right? Is it possible to change the text in an automatic format, like dynamic
In
format?
a text box, you cannot. So if you can add a dynamic text, guys. I already shown you, right? It has to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
dynamic. This one is a static. Whatever I write is static. I written already the dynamic text, right? You can make use of that.
Yes. Yeah.
Can be made dynamic. Make use of your dynamic text. Okay. So here I'll go. Let's create. I would like to compare, guys, like your net sales. Okay. So I'll have net sales. I'll also have another measure. First, I'll make it vertical orientation. Net sales, I would like to compare with. Okay. So a restricted measure. That is net sales per product. Means what I would like to compare your overall net sales in a region. Okay. In California, and how much percentage of that is coming from uh, alcohol, how much percentage of that overall is coming from carbonated drinks, etc. In this case, I'll create a restricted measure. Here I'm creating a restricted measure that is like net sales by product. I create a restricted measure net sales by product. So here I'll go measure as net sales. I'll pick my measure as net sales and filter it with product. I filter with product dimension, and in the product dimension you have two options. You can select a member. If I select carbonated drinks, it will by default shows net sales by carbonated drinks only. By default, nothing changed. But here you have an option of creating a calculation input control, guys. Okay, here, so let's go select product again. Here you have an option of selecting calculation input control where user can change. If user select carbonated drinks in the input control, so it will show net sales for carbonated drinks. If user select alcohol, it will show for alcohol, like that. Okay. So now I'm creating an input control which impacts only my calculation. So we call it as a calculation input control. Guys, I clearly mentioned, right? There are different types of input controls. So far I created input controls which acts as page or group widget filters. Now I'm creating an input control which impacts the calculations only the calculation. So I'm creating a calculation input control here. So I create a calculation input control. Calculation input control can be on an existing dimension or a static list. Okay. So we can create calculation input controls on both an existing dimension or a static list. I'll create both, but as of now, I'll create it on existing dimension. Okay. I'll create it on existing dimension, that is product dimension. So in the next, I'll be creating another calculation input control where I'll make use of a static list. So right now I say IC underscore product input control on product. Select alcohol, carbonated drinks, and juices. So user can select anything from this. Okay. Okay. So here I'll pick my dimension as location dimension. So this is net sales and this is your net sales by product. So I go styling on this widget. Let's add all borders. Show your scaling on million decimals, 1 decimal at least. So this is the overall net sales by these products. You're seeing 29 products case because I selected a hierarchy in this case. Let's say edit input control. Instead of multiple selection hierarchy, I select multiple selection only. You don't see hierarchy. You see only 3 now. So if I select juices, so this is your overall net sales, no impact. This is your net sales generated from juices. Okay, in this case, I can go show or hide, don't show my chat data. So let's insert a text box. Add a dynamic text from calculation input control. So this is like the net sales generated, overall net sales compared to your net sales generated from juices. Right, that is how you create a restricted measure. Okay, so here again, I insert another chart. I would like to see how much percentage of your overall net sales is generated from juices. In this case,
Can we insert this input control in respect to chat instead of outside of the chat?
hmm,
Yes, no.
right? Just drag and drop. So here I do one thing. Let's on a conversion or something. I'll insert another widget here. Okay. So here in this case, I like to go designer. So I'm going for a stacked area chart, guys. I would like to know how many stores were available in different regions. So I'm going for a stacked area chart. I would like to see. So we got around 220 stores, right? Out of 220, how many are in California? How many are in Oregon? How many are in Nevada? In this case, I'll create a new calculation. Here you see, I create it as store count. I'll go for an aggregation this time. So far I created calculated restricted measure. This time I'm going for an aggregation. The aggregation, you can have the options like summation, count, average, min, max, first quartile, second quartile, median values, mean values. You can pick everything. I'll pick the option this time, count dimensions, and count my unique stores. So it will count your unique stores and give you the store count. Okay. We got around 220 stores. So let's add location dimension so that you will see how many stores we have in different locations. I'll go styling. Let's add all borders. Okay. All right, guys. So now let's go create some measure dimensions. Hey, just give me a minute, please. I'll be back in a minute, just a moment.
Satya, if you are speaking, it's on mute actually. Satya?
Okay, right. So, so guys, for suppose I have a scenario, I would like to see how many stores has sales between net sales 0 to 10, like at least 0 to 1 million, 1 million to 2 million, 2 million to 3 million. I would like to classify my stores into ranges, like how many stores we have in different sale range. But here, guys, if you observe carefully, store count is a measure, net sales is also a measure. So how do you compare between two measures? Like if you want to see this kind of measure to measure comparison, so then what we do is we create a calculated dimension where we create a measure based dimension. Let me show you. Okay. If you want to compare one with the range of another, so you can make use of a measure dimension. Let's go insert a new chat here. Okay. So I'll go here. I'll take my measure as store count. And then, so I got 220 stores, fine. I'll add a measure. So create a now calculated dimension, guys. Here now in the dimension, I'm creating a calculated dimension. Check it out. I create now a calculated dimension. Okay. In the calculated, so not only calculated measures, guys. Okay, we can also create a calculated dimensions also. Right, in the calculated dimensions, you have an option of calculated dimension and measure based dimension. So I'll create calculated dimensions. I say, right, if this value is X, then write it as this. You can use lot of text functions, formula functions here. See, if I use a calculated dimension, I can use if, I can use trim, I can use replace, lot of functions. I'll be creating calculated dimensions in the next session, but as of now, what I'll do is I'll create a measure based dimension. Here there is an option, right? I go with the measure based dimension. I really go with the measure based dimension. So I'm creating a dimension based on measure, that is like sale range. So here the measure I'll pick is net sales. Okay. So measure I'll pick is net sales. Okay. And now here you can give, so I'll give some member name like 0 to 3 million. I'll take it as 0. Upper bound is 3 million. So I'm converting a measure into a dimension now. Okay, so then I go with like 3 to, guys, my net sales range is between 1.8 million to 8.5 million, guys. And most of my net sales fall between 3 to 4.5 million. So I just go here, I'll go like this 1.5 to 3 million. Here it is. Yeah, 1.5 million to 3 million. So here I say 3 million to 4.5 million. 4.5 million to, it was 6 million. Okay, I create a range here. Now I go. I have 6 to 9 million. I just say 6 million to 9 million. Or I go with like greater than 6 million. Right, I go, there is no upper bound, so I just say it is greater than 6 million. So I'm creating a measure based dimension on net sales. It will convert this range into this. And here, so this, okay, on what dimensions this range should be applicable. So I want this to be applicable on location, store. I want to be applicable on store, fine. Okay, so because this is for store analysis only. If I go at location, guys, the net sales is around 500 million, 600 millions, right? Okay, so this should be applicable on store. So I just say applicable on category and store. You want to give any extra filters, you can give extra filters also. If you want to see for only California, you can give some filter on California. I'm not giving any extra filters, say okay. I create a measure based dimension that is sale range. So guys, now you see here very clearly, we got 55 stores between 1.5 to 3 million. Okay, and 125 stores having sale range between 3 million to 4.5 million. Okay, and 32 stores, 4.5 to 6 million, and greater than 6 million, we got 8 stores. So if you got two types of measures and you want to do a range analysis of one with the other, okay, so we just convert one of your measure into a dimension. So using a measure based dimension. So go to your calculated dimension. In the calculated dimension, you have two options like calculated dimension and measure based. We can make use of a measure based. I'll be using this a lot in our reporting, guys. We'll be using this measure based dimensions very, very frequently in the reporting. And this is the most frequently asked interview question. Most frequently asked interview questions. Okay. So they'll ask a scenario. They don't ask you what is measure based dimension, these kind of things. They'll ask come up with a scenario. Especially if you go to SAC BI, so they don't ask you basic options, they ask you these kind of scenarios only. Okay. So yeah, any questions on this measure based dimensions? Anyone? Okay. So I'll create another chat now. Where I'll make use of a reference line. Okay. So guys, I would like to see the number of sales orders created in different regions. Okay. So number of sales orders created. In this case, I'll go for a measure. Okay. I create a calculation. I'll say like sales orders, where I'll go with aggregation here. In aggregation, so I'll say count. Count your anything. You can pick any measure, guys. It will count unique values. Count your gross sales or net sales, whatever it is. So based on date, location, sales manager, store. Is there anything left? Product. Okay. So guys, it will count your unique net sales for this. So guys, no two records will have same data. Like there might be same multiple records with same date and same location. Manager might different. If this manager is also same, store might be different. If store is also same, product will be different, right? So I'm counting my number of unique sales orders based on counting these dimensions. So there are no two records case which contain same data for all these 5 dimensions. No two records contain same data for all these 5 dimensions. It will count your unique values straight away. Okay, say okay. We got around 54,260 sales orders got created. Based on location, I select. I'll add color dimension also on product. So here in the product, I exclude others. So you see the number of sales orders created for different product and location. So guys, in this case, I would like to see, I like to add a reference line. So for suppose I would like to see there is a threshold value for everything. So I would like to see what are above the threshold value and what are below your threshold values. In that case, you can make use of a reference line. So for suppose like imagine guys, store, I am taking some store and inventory data. Okay, so it's a sales fine. So in a store, you need to maintain 100 units at any given point of time. So I would like to know how many stores are below that 100 units value and how many are above that. In that case, you can create one standard reference line and see what are above and what are below. Here also in a product store, in a product location combination, I would like to have at least 3,000 sales orders to be created. Okay, that's my standard number. I would like to see how many are above that value and how many are below. So in this case, I can go add. I'm adding reference lines here. Now I add a reference line. This reference line can be either fixed or dynamic. I'm going for fixed as of now. I'll create dynamic also. I see it has 3,000. So I'm going for fixed reference line of 3,000. It will create one reference line at 3,000. I'll take it as something like minimum orders. These are minimum orders that has to be created for a product location combination. I write the label as minimum orders. Anything above that, show in green. Anything below, in red. Okay, so you can give colors also above and below the lines. Line color is black, fine. You can give blue also. Line label is blue, not blue. Red. Minimum orders is written in red now. Okay. The added is static reference line. So this is a minimum order. So you see all the values above that and below this. So that is how a reference line work. A very, very important concept based reference lines we make use out of, especially in the inventory reporting, we make use of this very heavily, these reference lines. And also guys, I would like to know which are above my average and which are below my averages. So I can go for an average reference line also. Okay, so how many values are above my value and below. So in this case, I'll go to this widget. Let's say add a reference line. Okay, I'm adding a reference line here. I go for dynamic this time. Select my measure here, that my measure is gross margin. I'm selecting. I went to second page, margin analysis page. Okay, so your average. So here you see my average gross margin is 4.33 million. You see the values which are above that average value and which are below that. So here I go, aggregation is average. If I go max, it will pick the maximum value. This is your maximum value. If you go min, it will pick the minimum value. If you go average, mostly we go for average. So you will see what are above your average and what are below your average. Guys, version especially you will use it in planning. Here it's all actual data only, it's fine. The reference line, I'll take it as average here, average gross margin. If you want to give anything above as green, you can give it as green. So I'm not worried about above below all the time. Here you see this is your average gross margin 4.33 million for a product for a product city combination, and these are above and these are below the averages. You can go for dynamic, you can create a fixed also. You want to see which are above and below your average, go for dynamic. You want to see there is a standard number, and which are above that standard number and below that standard number, we can go for a fixed reference line. So here in this widget, let me create one more reference line. Add a reference line, dynamic only. Select measure is gross margin. Here also it's gross margin only the measure. So here the average is 77 million because it is now at city level, guys. Earlier it is at city level. This is at state level. Okay, the average differs. Okay, so that is how you make use of a reference line. Okay, so I stop here, guys, for today. Okay, in the next session I cover till reference line. I also covered positive and negative comments.
Such a small doubt. So all these calculations can be applied in grid type of stories. I mean, like custom calculations, like gross sales, difference
Yeah, you
between
can
gross
apply
and
anywhere,
okay.
any page. There is no restriction. All right, guys, I stop here. Thank you all. Have a great day. So we'll continue with the calculations. I'll do what if analysis, linked analysis. I'll do a lot of other calculations also. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.